Yes, he's like, then eat up. And he fucking forces Sokka's mouth open and he jams his meat, chicken, into Sokka's mouth. And Sokka's like, it's delicious. He's like, oh, I know it is, yes. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games. I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon, where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video.
But I believe Aang can save the world.
Yeah, it's a time for another stream chat, because we got to go ahead and get back to my reviews, chat, my scene by scene breakdowns, chat, of Avatar: The Last Airbender. We're on episode 5, chat, the King of Omashu, chat. Now, as you all guys all know, I'm a big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Happy to be back reviewing this show, chat. Can't wait to review the entire series, but for now, we gotta deal with the King of Omashu, chat. And we open up with the gang, chat. That's Aang, Katara, and Sokka, Appa, and Momo, chat. Toph is not yet joined, chat. That's season 2 shenanigans, okay? This is book 1 water shenanigans, all right? And they, chat, they did a little bit of a side adventure, chat. Even though Aang, he's got to get up to the North Pole to get a water-bending master, chat, for him and for himself and for Katara, because she wants to master water-bending, chat. He said, we got to do a little pit stop. We got to go to the Kingdom of Omashu. And he presents it to him, and, Sokka and Katara, they're like, wow, they're kind of amazed by it. They've never seen a city that big. They're not used to, cities, chat. They have nothing like that in the South Pole. They're not used to fucking homes being made out of brick and wood and shit. Their homes are always made out of snow, and they constantly fucking melt, need self-repair and all that shit, chat. What they're seeing is amazing them. And Aang's like, oh yeah, I used to come to the city all the time nearly 100 years ago. Used to hang out with my friend Boomy. And we do a little flashback chat where we see a very young, insane child, chat. And he has a couple of plans. You could tell that Boomy had a profound impact on Aang back in the day, because, he's like, Aang! And Aang's like, Jesus Christ, Boomy, what is it, buddy? He's like, do you see what you see? He's like, do I see what I see? I see Omashu. He's like, yes, you do. Yes, you do, Aang. But you see what's coming down? You see the slides, and you see shit. Omashu, chat, specializes in one of the most prosperous kingdoms and cities in the Earth Kingdom, chat. Provinces, if you will, and it has one of the most advanced mailing systems in the entire Avatar world, chat, where what they do is they send things via slides and pulling a pulley system, chat, and you can deliver things to all the citizens across Omashu like fucking that, chat, with the power of earthbending, chat, the power to move the earth itself. But Boomy, he's like, I got a different idea for that, because he gets in his little fucking slide he made for himself, chat, and he and Aang, they're just sliding all over the place, chat, having a great fun. And they crash into all innocent people, chat, murdering people, I assume. They're having a fucking blast. Thank you, Dark Side of the Five Base. Interesting delivery system. Indeed, it is. Very, very cool delivery system, and it's ahead of the game. They're ahead of the game, those Omashuans, chat. And they crash into some shop, and Aang's like, oh boy, Boomy, you're a mad genius. He's like, ha 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 ha. So Boomy is sort of like insane, chat, but he was a very close friend to Aang back nearly 100 years ago. Oh, he misses that old friend of his. And he says, I just want you guys to experience the slide system. It's just 5 minutes. 5 minutes adventures, guys. 5 minutes, Sokka, Katara, in and out, no problem. And they're like, well, okay, Aang, you haven't led us astray yet. And he goes, hell yeah, I haven't. But they say, like, listen, but people will recognize you as the Avatar. Your name has been spreading all across the world at this point. We got to give you a disguise. And he's like, what do you want me to do? Grow a mustache? And he promptly grows a very thick, bushy mustache. Chat, no, he doesn't. What they use is, chat, they use the excess hair from Appa, chat, and they glued it to his little precious 12-year-old face, chat. They glued that. She's like, it hurts. And they're like, oh, you look great. And Katara's like, you know what? You look very mature, Aang. He's like, I do? He's like, you really think so, Katara? And she's like, you really do. You look great with a mustache. You look great with a beard, which he will promptly grow. Chat, in The Legend of Korra. So he took that to heart, chat. Of course, as you all know, chat, he's in love with Katara. He wants to woo her, chat, but he's young, chat. He doesn't know how to talk to girls all that often, so He's learning, chat, but he'll hold on to that, chat. In Avatar, The Last Airbender, Season 1, Episode 5, chat, he took that advice to fucking heart, and he promptly grew a beard for Katara. She likes a little bit of hair on them cheeks and chins and mustaches, chat. He knows what Katara's type is, and he's growing into that type, chat. He has this very exaggerated mustache, chat, has this big poofy hair, and Sokka's like, geez, you look just like my dead grandfather. And Aang's like, that's creepy, but let's go ahead, whippersnappers. And that's what he says, shit, and they go marching towards the kingdom of Omashu, chat. They tell Appa to stay back, because that'll be a dead giveaway if they see a flying bison, chat. So they go there, chat, and we get the introduction of one of the most important characters, chat, in the history of not only Avatar: The Last Airbender, chat, but also Legend of Korra. He makes his debut. The Cabbage Man, chat. The Cabbage Man is there. And he's trying to get into Omashu, chat, to do what? Sell his cabbages. But the guards are like, these cabbages are not up to code. Hell with you and your cabbages. And they promptly toss his fucking cabbages off of a precipice. And he goes, my cabbages! Which will be a running gag in the show. And it's never not funny, chat. It's consistently hilarious as this man's entire world, which is around these cabbages, chat. That's his livelihood. That's his work. That's what puts food on his table, his family's table, is promptly destroyed. And in every episode he's featured in, fucking hilarious. And he's like, oh, take him away. And so then Aang and Katara and Sokka, they'll show up there, and they're like, state your business. And fucking Aang, he's all like, I got this, guys. I'm good at lying. I'm a good manipulator. He goes, I'm not going to state my business to you here, you whippersnapper. I'm here with my grandkids. I'm not going to tell you fucking nothing. Now get the fuck out of my way. And he's like, all right, take it easy, old man. We have to question everyone. We are in quarantine because, as you know, chat, they're at war with the Fire Nation. Even though it's really goofy this episode, you can tell how the 100-Year War has affected society in the Earth Kingdom. Because Aang was talking about how, the people of Omashu are the friendliest people in all of the Earth Kingdom, but in this case it's not, because they're always on the lookout for spies, chat, because Omashu is kind of like one of the other than Ba Sing Se, chat, which we'll see later on in Season 2, it's the Earth Kingdom capital, chat, which is great arc in all the stuff in Ba Sing Se. But Omashu is also one of the most powerful provinces and cities in the Earth Kingdom, chat. It's also looked upon to be much more kindly than something like Ba Sing Se, where Ba Sing Se is very corrupt, chat, has a huge poverty problem and crime problem. And corruption, of course, is too. But Omashu's really is the crown jewel of the Earth Kingdom, chat, thanks to the very, very kind rule of a specific figure, chat, which we'll later see in this episode. And they're like, all right, you may pass forward. And I see that you have a very lovely young woman. He's like, don't you fucking say anything about her. She's like, all right, back off, man. I'm just saying she looks very mature and responsible. He goes, yes, of course. Yes, my granddaughter, yes. She's like, okay, granddad, let's go inside. And, Katara takes him by arm. He's blushing. He's like, oh, God, a girl is touching me. And Sokka's just like, I'm just going to walk forward. And he goes, hey! And Sokka's like, ah! And the guy goes, you look like a strong young man. You should be carrying your granddad's bag. And Aang's like, you should. God, why would you let me carry this heavy bag? My old frame is falling apart before your eyes. Take it. He throws it in Sokka's face. Sokka's like, God fucking damn it. He's pissed. Eventually, they go inside the city. Momo pops out of his hair, and the guard's like, wait, what the fuck is that? And little lemur monkey chat. And then they see the city of Omashu, and Katara and Sokka are like, oh my God, we've never seen something like this. They see the chute system, the mail delivery system that Aang was talking about, and they're like, they just want to take it all in. But Aang's like, listen, guys, you told me we're on the clock right now. We're on the clock. Let's go sliding. And so they hijack one of these fucking slide chat to deliver goods or letters or important details to people around the city. And this is a wonderful animated sequence, chat. There's another episode later in Season 2. We go back to Omashu, and it's another really cool just how we slide around the city and take in all of it, chat. It's a wonderful sequence, chat. This one's more majestic. It's like, oh, and fun. The next one's just like fucking horrifying, chat, because it's like an action scene. But they're going down the slide, chat, and of course, people are like, hey, you can't do that. And, they get off track, chat. And they're going through people's fucking houses, chat. They go through this poor pottery maker. He's working on this incredible looking vase, and it's promptly destroyed. And Aang's like, sorry. And eventually, chat, they finally crash. They finally crash, and of course, who did they crash into, man? Who did they crash into, chat? The Cabbage Man. And boom, he's like, no, my cabbages. And they're destroyed. Completely fucking destroyed. And he's like, fucking kill him. Just fucking kill him. And they're promptly arrested, Chad. They're promptly arrested, and they're taken before the king of Omashu, chat. A decrepit old man. Just looks like a fucking bog monster. Just like back is hunched, chat. Looks like just he has like terrible, like spinal problems, back problems. He's like, yeah. It just looks like he's half dead already, chat. Looks like he has 1 foot in the grave. And they're brought before him, and the cabbage, like, you know, the guards say, like, these two were sliding via the chute system, and they destroyed this man's cabbages. And fucking cabbage man's like, off of their fucking heads! Take their heads for every head of cabbage that was destroyed. And they're like, all right, they're like, cabbage man, take it easy. He wants to kill the Avatar in Katara and Sokka, yet he wants blood. Ain't terrorist of Omashu. He is, technically, right now, he is. So it's just like, ooh, Jesus Christ. And so, you know, the King of Omashu is like, I shall carry out the sentence. And the cabbage man's like, death, 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 death. And Aang's just like, no, no, no. Sokka's like, oh, God. Katara's like, no, I mean, don't I look lovely today? She's trying to fucking woo him. And Aang's just like, hey, man, do what you gotta fucking do. I'm gonna get out of here no matter what. You can't get this. You can't get this. And the king, he's looking at Aang. He's like, something wakens in his eye. He notices the tattoos. He goes, my sentence has been passed. And they're like, what's your sentence, sir? I shall prepare a feast for our guests. And they're like, what? He's like, yes, a glorious feast. And the cabbage man's like, fuck you guys. And he goes off. And then shall we transition? And a lavish feast has been prepared for Aang and the gang, chat. You know, you guys like, and you know, the king's just like, oh, you must try the roasted chicken. It's delicious. And Aang's like, well, I actually don't eat meat. He's like, oh yes, I forgot. He's like, ooh, that's a clue. He's like, you young lad, you, yes, you. He's talking to Sokka. He's like, you like meat, don't you? And Sokka's like, he's so scared. Yes, he's like, then eat up. And he fucking forces Sokka's mouth open and he jams his meat, chicken, into Sokka's mouth. And Sokka's like, it's delicious. He's like, oh, I know it is, yes. And then he sits down in his little throne chair right in front of the table. And, you know, he starts questioning them, asking where they came from. He's like, you young man with the tattoos, where do you come from? And he's like, oh, sir, I'm from the island of Kangaroo. And he's like, oh, Kangaroo, yes. I hear those people are hopping mad. And then, like, it's just like, it's a really bad pun. And you hear this one guy in the background go, it's like dead silence, and Sokka, there's a delay, and Sokka goes, ha 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 ha, guitar and air, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? He goes, it's the joke, because kangaroos, okay, I thought it was funny. And Boomy's like, yes, I thought it was funny too, but, all these good jokes, they tire me so, I must retire to my bedchambers. Guards, and the guard's like, yes, sir. It's like, put them in the room. And they're like, which room should we put them in, sir? He's like, which one do we have? How many rooms do we have? Well, we have the good room, sir. We have the bad room. And he's like, the bad room? No, we refurbished that room. We have the good room and the refurbished room. And they go, yes, we did refurbish the bad room. He's like, well, which room would you want me to put them in? He's like, refurbished room. It's not bad. It's nice now. It's very nice. Joe, just put him in the fucking room. And they get escorted, chat. And it's like, they go in there. It's like a prison cell. But they're actually a really nice prison cell, chat. The beds look really cool. There's fucking drapes everywhere. But they're completely surrounded by stone, chat. And there's these little holes to the outside that have the oxygen, the air coming in. And they can't escape. And so, you know, Aang's like, shit. Katara and Sokka are like, look, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And Aang's like, don't worry, we're gonna use Momo. But Momo has engorged himself on food all throughout the feast. And he's trying to stuff his little fat ass through the hole, but he can't get through because he's too goddamn fat. And at this point, they're like, this is just not good. It's just not good. So he's like, well, what are we going to do? Well, I guess we're just going to wait until what the king wants from us. I mean, maybe we'll just here for the night. Maybe he's okay. He seems to not be in his fucking right mind anyway. This is what Katara's saying. And they're like, okay, let's just get some sleep. And so they go ahead and they go to sleep. He's like, good night, everybody. And then chat later on, Aang wakes up and the fucking king is just staring at him like this. Just looking at him like this. And Aang's like, oh, and the king's like, oh, you've awakened, yes. And he's like, and Aang's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And he looks around, chat, and he sees that Sokka and Katara are gone. He's like, what have you done with my friends? He's like, I have taken them. Let me bring you to them. And he goes out and he sees Katara Soccer being held by the guards. He's like, okay, let go of my fucking friends. And Akino Mashu's like, no, I won't let go of them. You must beat my 3 tests, and only then I will let go of your friends and free you. And Aang's like, fine. He's like, and just for insurance, I am placing rings upon their heads, crystallized rock, and it's called the Creeping Crawler. And soon, it's always constantly growing, and soon it'll encase their bodies in roll of pure crystal. And Aang's like, holy shit. And Katara and Sokka are like, Aang, you gotta pass these 3 fucking tests. We don't want to die inside these crystalline forms. He's like, I got you guys, I got you. And it's like, the King of Mashu's like, let the tests begin. And the first test, chat, is we come to this huge fucking cavern, massive cavern, full of these spiky rocks on the bottom and the top. And in the middle of the cavern, chat, there is this ladder with like, that ladder goes up to this key, which is hanging from like a rope. But there's this water crashing down, chat, all around it. And the Kinomachu's like, that key is from my lunchbox. I'm hungry. Give me the key to open my lunchbox, and you will complete the first test. And Aang's like, got it, buddy. But every time he tries to get in there, Chad, it's just way too difficult. He goes into the water, goes right down, goes on top of it, misses the ladder, misses the key. And he's like, shit, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? And so he's like, I gotta think outside the fucking box. I gotta think like a madman, a mad genius. And so what he does, chat, is he doesn't know earthbending. He's like, well, clearly this task is made for an earthbender. So what he does is he manages to cut one of these huge stalagmites off, chat, and he uses earthbending to propel it forward, while also using airbending, chat, to at least get some of the water out of there, chat. So what happens is the water is briefly, for like a millisecond, it uncovers the key, the pillar shoots right at it, and it impales it right above the King of Omashu's head. Right above the King of Omashu's head, chat. And it dangles. He's like, there's your fucking key. And it goes, excellent, Avatar. You've completed my first test. Now on to the second. And so then, the King of Machu is like, I want you to bring my reindeer bunny to me, Flopsy. He needs kisses. And Aang's like, okay. He goes in this giant enclosure where it's just like this little bunny. It's like, it's like, oh, it's adorable. And he's like, come here, Flopsy. And then this fucking Hulk-sized reindeer bunny's like, it like descends upon him. He's like, oh! And he's like being chased around the entire goddamn arena. He's like, Flopsy, come here, Flopsy, just come here. And this thing's like, just coming after him. Chad realizes, like, wait a minute. Reindeer bunny, that's a regular bunny. Reindeer bunny, he's like, wait a minute. He turns around, Flopsy, and the giant Hulk-like reindeer bunny goes, and just it grabs him, Chad, like, and just starts licking him, Chad, like it's his friend. And he's like, oh, you're Flopsy. And then, the King of Machu is like, come to daddy, Flopsy, come to me. And the giant Hulk thing with Aang in his hand goes, no. And he goes up there and displays his tummy. He's like, oh, you love your belly rubbed. It's so soft and cuddly. And by the way, we constantly cut back to to Katara and Sokka, who are standing there as they're slowly being encased in this creeping, crawling rock, chat. And then, like, his creeping, crawling rock has grown so heavy that he just kind of flops to the side. So he just falls down. He's like, I can't get up. It's like, oh, it's fine. You'll be okay. He's like, the final test is at hand. And so then they come to this massive arena, Chad, and it's like, you must choose a challenger to fight you. Whoever you point to, you must fight them. We see this one fighter who has this giant scythe. We see this one guy who has this huge shield and a battle axe, Chad. And, the King of Amashu is like, now pick your challenger. And Aang's like, so whoever I point to, I get to fight them. The king goes, yes, choose wisely. And Aang's like, I choose you. And he points directly at the King of Mashu. And the king's like, you've chosen poorly. And then, chat, he like that spine, that atrophied spine, that huge like hump he has, completely gone. He stands up straight. His stance changes, chat, takes off his fucking clothes, and he is fucking ripped. And Aang's like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, I look fucking good. And he punches him with the hardest earth-bending thing we've seen in the show yet, chat. It's like a fucking tidal wave of rock and mud or whatever the hell else is in there, chat. And boom, Aang's just thrust him back. He's like, holy shit. And then the Kinomashu, he just stands there just like, look, he looks like Hugh Jackman, chat. He's like an old Hugh Jackman, just rippling muscles, just shred veins popping out. It's like, oh my God. He's like, I'm the most powerful earthbender in the world. Which I guess technically, Toph will become the most powerful earthbender by the end of the series. So I guess Boomy and Toph are technically the two strongest earthbenders in the world. But right now, let's say it's Boomy. And so he's like, you're going to need your staff. And he throws him the staff. He's like, let's go, Buttercup. And we get a really cool action scene, chat. Between the Kinomashu, Boomy, it's Boomy, but we will get to that point. Between the Kinomashu and Aang, wonderfully choreographed, chat. We really get to see what earthbending can be. Because before we saw a lot of waterbending, we saw a lot of airbending, firebending, of course. But this is when we really do showcase what earthbending can do, and it's fucking frightening. It's really goddamn. I know, spoiler. I'm sorry. I'm just used to saying Boomy. Thank you, actually, for the 5 days. Swole as fuck. Just ripped. I mean, it's like, oh my God. And it's an incredibly choreographed scene. And, the Kinomashu is just like, because he's observing Aang's attack pattern. It's like, typical Airbender, always retreating and evading. In order to defeat Earthbender, you gotta fight him head on. And Aang's like, he changed up his strategy, Jet, even though he only knows how to airbend, at least, in the Avatar state, he control elements, but in his normal state, he cannot, only airbending. And he starts to get more aggressive, Jet. He's going close to the Earth King. Earth King's throwing everything he has at him, Jet. He lifts up the fucking arena at one point, like the precipice they were all standing at. And he's just throwing this shit in Aang. Aang's like, shit. And eventually, Aang, he gets under a, chat, and he brings his staff right at the King of Omashu's neck. Just like, if I move, if I flip this up, your head's gonna fucking go. I'm gonna knock your block off, old man. Now let my friends go. And the King of Omashu's like, why don't you look up? And Aang's like, shit. He has this giant boulder above both of their, above their heads. But he's like, it's a bit of a draw. Pretty good, Avatar. Pretty good. And he dissolves it, and he does this really cool move where he falls backward and he's absorbed by the earth. It's like, what the fuck did he go? And he ends up back up to where Katara and Sokka are. And Aang jumps up and there's like, okay, I completed your 3 tests, King. Let my friends go. He's like, I will let your friends go. Once you answer this question, he's like, God damn it, no, man, you said 3 tests. He's like, just answer it. Just answer it. You'll be good. And Aang's like, all right, what's your question? And he's like, my question to you is, Avatar, what is my name? And Aang's like, I don't fucking know. He's like, well, I'll give you time to think about it, but they don't have much time. And then he goes to Katara and Sokka, and, he's just like, and they're like, oh, shit, guys, I have no idea who he is. And Katara's like, well, maybe it's a riddle. Maybe it's a riddle. Like, everything that you've done today, maybe it's like a hint. And he's just, what did you learn? Because all lessons, all tests have answers, okay? So what did you learn through all these tests? And he goes, well, I've had to think outside the box. I've had to think like a mad Oh, my God. And Sokka's like, I'm going to stop you right there, Aang. I know what his name is. He's like, Sokka, you do? He's like, yeah, his name's Rocky. And there's, and then we hear in the background that, just like that coffee, because he fights with rocks. Okay. Sokka's just shut up, Sokka. Thank you, Vanispheres. Welcome, Vanispheres. Thank you for the 10 biddies, good sir. Hope you're doing very well today. So he's like, I figured it out. And then, Chad, he goes to the king's throne room, and it took me a little while, but I know who you are. And he goes, what's my name? And he's like, your name is Boomy. And tears start to come down his face, and he runs up to him, chat. Such a great moment. He runs up to him and he braces him. He's hugging him and crying, and Boomy's crying too. He's like, I've missed you so much. He's like, I've missed you for a very long time, Aang. It's a beautiful moment, chat. It's such a beautiful. What a try. But it's a beautiful moment between Aang and Boomy, and Aang's just like, you told me to think like a mad genius. He's like, yes, I have, and you'll need to. He's like, what about my friends? Because they bring in Katara and Sokka, almost completely encased in the crawling the rock, chat, the crawling rock, and Boomy just goes, boop, snaps his fingers, all falls off, and one piece flings. So he's like, oh yeah, this shit's harmless. This is just rock candy. And they're like, what? He's like, I don't know, it's delicious. And they go, oh yeah, your friends were fine. They're fine. They could have broken it themselves. They just moved a little bit. But Aang's just like, well, I mean, Boomy is a hell of a goddamn time. And Boomy, he gets a little serious. He's like, Aang, it was great seeing you again, but I have to tell you, a lot has changed in the 100 years you've been gone. The Fire Nation has enslaved most of the world. The Earth Kingdom, we have our heels to the back of our walls, and it's dangerous right now. You need to master the 4 elements and confront Fire Lord Ozai, or the world will fall into greater peril. And you must go to the Northern Water Tribe and learn waterbending. And once you do, once you've mastered it, I want you to come here, return to Omashu, so I may train you as your master. And Aang's like, hell yeah, Boomy! And they fucking hug and they cry. And it's like, now, Boomy, before I leave, we gotta do one more thing together, though. He's like, what's that? And they do the slide, chat. They go on the fucking slide and go, ha ha ha! And they're enjoying themselves, sliding around Omashu. And then we cut to, like, the city itself, chat. We hear them, and they crash into somebody. And then all we hear, chat, is, my cabbages! And that, my friends, that is Avatar: The Last Airbender, Episode 5, The King of Omashu, chat. Boomy. He somehow became king. Oh, so good. Now Boomy sounds like Master. He kind of sounds like Master Roshi. I can see that. Hurry the fuck up, Aang. Rock candy is delicious. But Vandersphere is welcome to stream. Saul, good man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Just Victor Ackerman. Oh, great. It's a fun episode. And it's goofy at first, but then you realize, like, oh shit, this is a huge emotional impact for Aang. Because remember, chap. Only like 2 episodes ago, in the 3rd episode, Aang's entire civilization he learned was wiped out. Like, he saw the dead body of Monkey Atso. His father figure is dead. All of his airbending sisters and brothers and, like, you know, basically his family, chat. His family, even though he was, you know, he was trained by monks and shit. These were his family members, and they all were murdered and genocidal attack by the Fire Nation. So he lost everything. And then he finds Boomy, this one little, I mean, not little chap, but this one piece of his old world is still alive and is there. And I just love that moment for him. You know, it's great. It's great. It's great character development for Aang. It's like there's something for him to, like, there's something from the past I can still hold on to that's here, and it's his friend. So yeah, it's a great episode. Unfortunately, the creators left the new show they're making. That Netflix live action series. Yeah, but we're always gonna have the original series show, which is so goddamn good. Make sure how it goes. Great, going great, man. Just did a review for Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Terrible movie. Gave it some bullshit. But after this Airbender chat, amazing series. Loved it. Loved the episode. But what about my cabbages? That guy is going to be constantly abused throughout the rest of the series. He does establish Cabbage Corp, though. His ancestors, or his people come after him, chat. They establish a corporation. But yeah, what kind of bender would you be? That's a good question, man. I don't know. Airbending sounds really fun. I would like to do, like, I don't know, to be able to glide and fly in the air and all that shit. Like airbending, or maybe like a waterbender. I'd be scared to be a firebender. I'd burn myself. Firebending is too scary. Earthbending, and be like, I feel like I would cause too much destruction. But I think I'd be either a waterbender or a airbender. Those are my 2. Whiskey, exactly. I can whiskey bend this into my mouth. Yeah. He does. It's true. That's true, Austin. Yeah, he names his oldest son Boomy, who is very much like the original character. Yeah, it's a good little. I like that he did that. Him and Katara did that. Look, that person meant, because by that time Boomy's dead, and you know, Boomy meant so much to Aang that Katara's like, oh yeah, of course, we name our first child after him. So that was really sweet. Where's my healing and bloodbending? Yeah, bloodbending is cool. Crimson, agreed. Yeah, I might be. It's like, yeah, it's definitely between waterbending and airbending. Chat. I think they're both really cool. Oh, the answer is, wow, bad video game movie? You lie! Stop deceiving the poor people with your words! What's next? House of the Dead is bad, too? Matter of fact. I like all the bending arts. This is like, me personally, I'd be scared to be a firebender or an earthbender, because I think I cause too much destruction of those abilities. I'd be like, Jesus Christ, like, really? But, yeah, that's why I'd go with something maybe it's like I have more control over. It's not as destructive. Although airbending is super destructive, chat, as we see throughout the series. I mean, fucking creating goddamn tornadoes and monsoons and shit. Especially in season 2, we see Aang's use of airbending to a violent degree, very violent degree. Oh, I'll be a lava bender? Oh man, I'm gonna be anywhere near lava. We made ice cream uses water and air, so it's a mix of the two, and you can eat it. I love that. I love that, man. Very good. But chat, after my reviews, we got to move on to the gameplay. Let's get to that Call of Duty Black Ops, Blops, Cold War, chat. I promise you, let's play that single-player campaign, everybody.